Ladies and gentlemen, bridal party, Keri and Ray. Won't you please be seated? And ladies and gentlemen, before their first dance, I wanted to take a few minutes to share Keri and Ray's history with you. Certainly you know why we are here, but very few of you probably know how we got to be here, which is why Keri and Ray are having me present their love story. This is what happened. A few months ago, Keri and Ray both received questionnaires asking for very detailed information about the evolution of their relationship, and they did not share their responses with each other. And they mailed them to me, and from that I composed their love story, which is told in their words. And now there are going to be a few times during the reading, sometimes really sticky sweet, where you're just going to not be able to help yourself but just say, "Aww." Can you all practice that with me once before we get started? 1, 2, 3. Aww. Very good. Very well done over there, youngster. The love story of Keri and Ray began at the PricewaterhouseCoopers System Process Assurance Group's annual field day. Basically, a company picnic with a morning meeting to which the new hires were invited. The date, May 19th, 2006. Keri and Ray were randomly assigned to the red team. The batting lineup for their game of kickball was based on seniority, and they were right in line next to each other. Since she was a new hire, and she didn't really know anyone in the group yet, and since she thought he was so cute, Keri engaged Ray by starting a conversation with him and asked where he went to school. He promptly responded, "Lehigh." And the conversation was over. Ray remembers the deep one-question conversation that afternoon. He was more focused on meeting the experienced staff and the new bosses. There was no love connection. A month later, they started work at their new company, but they worked at client sites and not together in an office. So there was little interaction with each other, and they didn't talk again until 4 months later when they attended a series of work-related meetings together in September. Keri admits to having a slight crush on Ray, but he was never very chatty. He always seemed very focused and serious. So she tried to stay out of his way, but whenever she had friends over, or went out bar hopping, Keri made sure to invite him, and on occasion, he'd come. They'd usually end up at Keri's apartment before heading out to the clubs, since it was halfway between Ray's place in Lansdale and Manningham. In May 2007, Ray moved to Conshohocken into a bachelor pad with his friend Matt, a fraternity brother who was just graduating. Matt happens to be a groomsman. Matt, stand up so we can all say hello to you. Please give a round of applause to Matt, ladies and gentlemen. In Conshohocken, they found their mecca for socializing, the Great American Pub. It became their place to hang out, and they did so frequently. Dinner on Tuesdays, and afterwards, Quizzo, an interactive team trivia game at Boathouse Bar in Conshohocken. One day, Keri received an instant message from Ray. He asked if she wanted to go hang out at the Great American Pub, since he said he was new to the area, and he didn't have anyone to go with. Aww. The new kid in town / sympathy ploy worked. She agreed and went. Over that summer, they went again a few times to hang out together with friends from work. Their ritual Tuesday nights with Quizzo competition at the Boathouse was always great fun, despite their team finishing close to last every time. In August 2007, something happened that led them to very frequently spend a lot of time together. Yes. It turns out that Ray's roommate Matt bought the Guitar Hero video game. And Keri loves her some Guitar Hero. Their favorite bar suddenly canceled Quizzo, so instead they decided to order pizza and hang out at Ray's place. And this is where Keri began her love, more like obsession, with Guitar Hero. It let her combine her love of music with her competitive nature, which led to many weekends of hanging out with Ray and Matt and sometimes others for marathon Guitar Hero competitions, which Keri usually won. And Ray admits he's still pretty bad in comparison. For a long time, Keri and Ray remained just friends, but soon they were hanging out exclusively with each other. They were together almost every evening, honing her Guitar Hero skills, going out to dinner and the movies, even going to Ray's fraternity and meeting all of his frat brothers. But Keri remained insistent that they were not dating. Something Ray never understood since they met all the requirements, but he respected the terms and never referred to each other as boyfriend or girlfriend. This continued for a few months, even through New Year's Eve 2008 when they attended a friend's party downtown. It wasn't until January of 2008 that Keri finally realized they were dating. Ray mentioned the possibility of dating before, but Keri said she wanted to be single and have fun. However, on January 13th, they had a conversation about their status, and both agreed that they would be boyfriend and girlfriend. Aww. When they told friends Kate and Brian, Kate said, "I wondered when you would notice. You've been dating for 6 months." Soon, it became apparent to everyone that they had fallen deeply, helplessly, and hopelessly in love. Sweet, giddy love. When they were together, colors would seem more vibrant. Birds would sing in harmony, and little furry creatures would gather together in pairs wherever they went. Ray decided that their relationship was to proceed to the next logical step. His lease was up, and Keri's roommate moved out. So Ray and Keri and Matt decided to move in together into a huge apartment at Riverwalk, which he describes as a great time. They had guests over every weekend and continued the Guitar Hero craze of 2008. After a year, he wanted to buy a house, and he had Keri help him find a place to live that she would like to live in too, because he knew he was in love with her and that he wanted to marry her. Oh. They decided on the new condos down the street from their apartment and bought the house where they currently live. Now set in a comfortable home, Ray knew what was next on his agenda. He started thinking about their relationship and how Keri is a smart, funny, and caring person who he wanted to be part of his life forever. He was going to marry Keri, and now all he had to do was find the ring.